Welcome to episode 1 of Power and Finesse. I'm here with my co-host Rob Carbo. I'm Jennifer Searles. Today we're going to discuss children's training.
And how important it is.
How important is it, Rob?
I think it's huge for kids to get, especially in this day and age with computers. You know, kids really not getting out and playing like they did. I mean, when I was a little kid, I was out from sunrise till the lamppost came on, and then I had to be back home. Now it seems it's more computers and texting.
Yeah.
You know, so.
If texting were only a sport,
Really?
there would be very fit children.
The strongest thumbs in the world.
That's very important for functional training for kids.
Yes.
Actually, you know, I feel the social ramifications of getting kids into fitness is huge. It teaches them how to deal with groups. It teaches them the importance of health and fitness and proper eating. It also teaches them discipline. Teaches them how to follow directions and follow rules and deal with authority and deal with other children on the team. You know, there's all kinds of ramifications for their development in health, fitness, and education and personal growth.
For sure. What do you, ideally, I mean, you always want children to stay active, but as far as any kind of resistance training or anything like that, when do you think we should start?
Well, I mean, I'm going to personally ensure that my child is doing squats in the womb. No, that's not right. Actually,
if anyone could pull that off, it would be you.
Yeah, or you. Look at you. You're the power guy.
Yeah, the womb thing might become an issue.
Yeah, that's true. I think that children should start weight training at a fairly early age. There's a couple things that you want to be careful of. You know, children overheat very easily, so they have to have a proper warm up. This could be anything from maybe having them run around in circles, having them play dodgeball, having them play a light game, just to ensure that their body is warmed up properly so that they don't overheat. They also have much more lax joints than adults do, so you don't want to give them heavy weight for a lot of obvious reasons. You know, their joints are lax. They probably don't have the stabilization required to stabilize heavy weight, so they could hurt themselves. And their form isn't. They're just learning, so I'm sure that their form isn't up to par with lifting heavy weights. So you would want to start them with very light weights, emphasizing form, emphasizing the fun of the weight training exercise.
Yes.
Make a game of it. You know, kids don't think quite as adults do, so things have to be made fun, or else they're going to lose their attention span. They don't have the same attention span as adults.
I agree.
As far as diet goes, that's another very sensitive area with children. You know, I hear of a lot of women and men, you know, mothers and fathers that are putting these dietary restrictions on their child, or you know, saying to their child, you have to lose some weight. That's bad to eat. This is bad to have. And my belief is that nothing should be labeled as bad, and nothing should be taboo, because that's teaching the child that, you know, these foods are bad for them, and they might want them more in the future. You know, whenever you're told you can't have something, you're going to want it. So I think it's better to educate the child on the good and the bad of the food, and label it as something that is not out of limits, but something that's not the best to have all the time. There are actually specialists out there that are geared more towards dealing with children and nutrition rules than, you know, it's actually a very specialized area, because you don't want the child in their developmental years growing up thinking that foods are bad.
True, I agree. I mean, a lot of it, I think, as you've said, comes on the parents, though. You don't want kids to think necessarily something's bad, but then again, going to McDonald's or any company, I don't mean to single out any fast food chain, but soda all the time and fast food. Or any food chain, you know, on a regular basis, a couple of times a week. I think maybe as a treat, once in a while, why not?
Happy meals.
Happy meals.
I used to get Happy Meals when I was young. My mother gave me probably too many Happy Meals, though.
And look how happy you are.
I was very happy.
There's an upside.
I was super happy. But I was also super chunky, so, you know, there's a trade-off.
I can't believe it.
I was super chunky.
This before the works?
Dude, I was way chunky. Yeah, no, I was chunky. But I had a good time. It was all good. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you know, fast food definitely has to be limited. You know, the parents have to teach the children that, again, these things are okay to have, but in moderation. Nothing is bad or off limits.
Right. And as you said, form is the major thing. And the bones are still forming, ligaments, everything I know. even in powerlifting, they have competitions for kids. And, yeah. And I think that's, I mean, it's great to learn the form, and obviously kids mature at different rates.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure in high school we've gone to people as freshmen that were almost mature as 20-year-old adults, and then some kids who still look like they're in 5th grade.
Yeah. Well, even a lot of adults have a difficult time with body awareness. And
Well, I've matured at a different rate, but yeah.
Yeah, you're still. How old are you, really?
Let's go.
Anyway, but even some adults, I know in my training when I'm working with clients, their body awareness is not up to par. If you tell them to bend their back leg, they really don't understand how to do that when they're in a movement. So it's the same thing with children. You have to be very, very, very particular about how they're moving and emphasizing the form on the exercises, making sure they're doing it properly so they don't injure themselves.
Right.
Being very sensitive to the fact that they are children, they have lax joints, they cannot handle heavy weights.
Right.
That's why I'm really surprised that they had powerlifting.
Yeah, they do have competitions, and
Do you know what the world record is for age?
No, I mean, in a future episode we could come back to that.
Yeah, that's a
at
good
the
one.
moment I don't. But I think really bodyweight things at this age, or I don't know if they still have the President's Council on Physical Fitness, where they used to have the push-ups and sit-ups.
Like the fitness test?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, the flex arm hang. Does anybody remember that? I was terrible at that. Did you
Really?
remember the flex arm
I
hang?
find it hard to believe. And now look at that guy.
I know. Now I can flex arm
actually-
hang for days. No, I was really bad at that. But yeah, they have the sit-up test and the push-up test
Right.
and the flex arm hang, the sit and reach. Some of which are still used today. But it's always a smart thing to test the child out first to see what their limits are, so you don't overexert them in the beginning.
Right.
You don't want them to. You want to make sure they're flexible enough by doing the sit and reach, or that they're strong enough by trying to push up, or that they do a push or a curl up or a sit up properly, so that they're not. Going to injure themselves or use different muscles. It's good to instill these things at an early age so that they can carry this on into their adulthood and in a proper way.
I agree. Even as we do now with our clients, everything's form.
Yep.
Get them used to working out the proper way.
Yeah, form. Proper diet, proper nutrition, teaches kids good habits, socialization, discipline, and how to live a healthy lifestyle well into their adult years, which will ensure a longer life and a happier kid.
And yes, stay active.
Or else.